Look, I did it, it's together, but there's a few things that need fixed before I'm happy with it. Quality assurance is actually the builder himself. And I wanted to highlight those things so that if somebody else does go about this, you have an idea of where these adjustments come from. Big day in the Ford fam. We got an old 2000 Exploder in someone else's hands.
So sad.
Gonna watch it drive away. There it is. She served me well. I'll miss you, Explorer. We made some great memories together. Alright, we're on a special trip right now. Go pick up a hot ticket item. Just want to show you try number one. It's about 2:40 in the morning, so we'll check back. It's about 12 hours later.
No.
Oh, good morning.
I hate you so much.
It's 2:35 in the afternoon.
I've been awake since yesterday.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So for the hot ticket item, we present the all-new Ford F-150 Raptor. The Exploder served me well, but it's time for the upgrade. Now hopefully I can use this and tow around the Bronco and go to all kind of shows. So here's to hoping. Welcome to the family. Without further ado, back to Bronco work, finally. As promised, I would get back to everybody about the trials and tribulations of bodywork on the Bronco. These doors are a pain, and I finally got it. After a lot of manipulation, I went ahead and put the level up, and I have the green line running down the side. Oh yeah, that's good for it, just bounce into it. Then there's the green line running down the bottom. It's very faint, but that's telling me that that door is finally square. And my gap up front, it needs some work, but that's actually the fender that's causing that. So I might have to do some grinding on that door jamb. But now, looking at this quarter or rocker panel, down low that gap is small, and then further out it gets wider. So I'm gonna have to attack that and figure out what's causing that. There's some interference with it, or it's bent, so I can fix that. And then I have a large gap there between the door, and that's just going to be this rear section. I don't have the post in the rear mounted anymore. I got to fix that because that's bent. So biggest things with the door, the quick release hinges are a blessing. You can take them apart and you can pull the door off, no problem. And it allows for adjustment. They're two pieces, one mounts to the door jamb, one mounts into the door, obviously. But they allow you to articulate in and out with this top one here. And then the one that's connected to the door jamb itself, you can go around in a complete circle. There's a lot of movement with those. So I was able to finally get the door angled the right way. And the problem I was having, so if you look over there, that kick panel, on this side, I was squaring that kick panel up to, my square was going in behind here. Well, that, I went back to the old tub to take a look, and if you look now, you can see there's a gap in there. What I have to do is square it off of that first indentation, because what this does is this runs straight up, but then there's material in behind it that comes out like a Y. So don't square back in here, square it right here. That way it'll give you the correct angle on this door jamb. That was my biggest issue, which wasn't allowing the right kind of door gap and the close, the right kind of closing on this. So I finally have this square. Now I got to get this kind of to come forward a little bit, and then I'm going to have to probably bend it up so that this is level. It's just, this came damaged. I ended up trying to pound out most of the damage in here, and I don't know if it just warped, what happened to it, but it'll be floating like a butterfly here soon. So any questions with this in particular, just email me, because these doors, there's so many different ways to tilt it, to move it in and out, and the adjustments are going to come from here, door jamb, hinges, and however you have the cowl connected. So you got to kind of sit down and draw it, or think of it abstractly. That's how it started to work for me. So stay tuned. I'll hopefully get that other door in there and square in the blink of an eye, and I want to weld this thing so I can move forward. Stay tuned. So if we start in the front, the grill looks really good. It's level. It matches up pretty nicely with this hood. The hood would come up a little bit with the bumpers that go in the fenders, and it matches right here, so we're good there. Now if you notice, it looks a little high with these front fenders, but those are going to get drawn into place where there's a bolt that goes through it, and then these get, on the back side, they get pushed outward. So that would bring it right to where it needs to be, because there's a little brace that gets put in. If I were to move this, go up here, if I pull this and then I had that bolt in there, it's going to square up. So I need to get those fender braces in there. Now moving to the hood. The hood is in a good spot, not too far that way, not too far this way, but my gap is just a little too fat on both sides, and it starts from back here with my fenders. To fix that, what I need to do is go into the kick panels on the side, and I need to just move them in a 1/16 of an inch on each side, and then these are going to be perfect. So if you got this too fat, it starts with the kick panel, because I can't really manipulate my door jamb too much anymore. Additionally, the other problem with this side is going to be up here is a little too high. It's out of level from over there. So this windshield to cowl section is maybe 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch too high. So again, that's that kick panel. If I move it, if I cock it a little bit forward, that's going to bring it higher, but if I bring it a little bit down in the back, it would let it sink. But I don't want to do that because it's going to mess up my door. So what I need to do is just take the whole thing down, just like I was saying, 1/8 of an inch, and then that'll fix the height here to match over there. Other than that, there's other supports that need to go and get welded into the body, but it's all fastened together currently. My door matches up just fine, so I'm happy about it. And if I move to the back, my tailgate actually, with minimal effort, went on pretty smoothly, and it matches up. These taillight covers, they move a little bit because they need fastened in place, but for the most part they match with the quarter panels, they match with the bed. I'm really happy about it. But if you were to have an issue with the squaring of these bed posts, That's gonna flare this out. It'll make this gap too tight so you can't close your tailgate. I had to go in here and pound these out with a hammer and dolly to make sure that I was getting 90-degree angles. So with the whole tub kit itself, the pieces that I had problems with were, in my opinion, the pivotal sections in this kit, being the bedposts. Everything to me centers around this, because if I build this right back here, everything forward's going to go into place. And those were bent, so I had to pound those out like I was saying. Additionally, the door posts, you don't get those right, you got door gaps that are just way too crazy to fix. The front door jams, I don't know, there's a video that I can reference, it's on Matt's Garage, where he talks about those being wrong. Those door jams weren't the right angle in their, I guess, the pitch around the axis wasn't correct. So what he was doing was he was breaking them apart and spreading them out. I did that on this side because it was just way too ridiculous to send back. I figured if I were to drill out, here, come back here, let me open this up. So what I did was, in here, down in the very bottom, there's spot welds that I just drilled out, and you're not going to be able to see them with that panel in place, but I drilled those out, was able to spread it, and I think that's why this driver's side went together so much easier than the passenger side. So you got to make sure that those are right, and if you are going to buy this, I would inquire as to where these door jams come from, and if they had any problems with them, just so you know, okay, here's what you need to do to fix them or to get those swapped out. Besides those pieces, obviously it's a lot of work, and you got to be dedicated to making it look a certain way, because I could have just slapped this stuff together if I really wanted to and just said, oh, here's my Bronco, but I'm looking to make this thing last and, you know, look pretty factory. So for the most part, it goes together. I got to get some holes drilled, start welding it together after I get those gaps fixed. If you have any questions, please direct message me, email me, let me know. Maybe I was doing stuff wrong. Let me know if I can do anything to improve it, because this is probably going to be the first time I do it. So you help me out, I'll help you out. Make these things just like they left the factory and keep them rolling. All right.